This exhibition, first of all, is not about shofar as the object, Judaica object. It's the exhibition about shofar as the witness of history, of the history of Jewish people.
A few days before Rosh Hashanah, we visit the Sound the Shofar exhibition at the Bible Lands Museum in Jerusalem.
3,000 years of Jewish history, and through the prism of shofar, we can see that history, which was blown, shofar was blown during some very important and crucial events throughout the history of Jewish people.
The exhibition shows how the shofar was part of Jewish life throughout the whole year, not just on Rosh Hashanah.
In the military, it tells people the war is coming. In the military, it tells people there is some kind of danger, let's get together, let's go to war, or something similar. When the kings of Israel were crowned, the shofar was blown. There are many, many different uses.
It is this understanding that shofar had an important role in calling the nation to arms during wartime, which emphasizes its role on the Day of Judgment, Rosh Hashanah, when shofar blasts are meant to awaken a Jew to repent and return to God. As can be seen in this ancient Pesach Haggadah, the shofar is depicted as a symbol of redemption, with the prophet Eliyahu blowing it as Mashiach, the Messiah, is arriving.
A number of these drawings were depicted in medieval manuscripts, especially in Haggadah for the Passover, like the one here from Mantova, where you can see the prophet Elijah blowing the shofar and the Messiah coming on a donkey approaching Jerusalem.
This shofar is related to a negative circumstance, as it was used to announce the banishment of a Jew from the community as a punishment for his behavior.
The herem was a community punishment. A person against whom the herem is declared is to be banished from the community and many of their rights revoked.
The Holocaust is also referred to here at the exhibition. This is a shofar which belonged to a family which was murdered by the Nazis.
We can see the shofar which belonged to Israel Mizrahi. Israel was killed in Buchenwald during the Holocaust. The shofar is definitely a symbol of the struggle of Jewish people during the period for their survival and for the future state.
This shofar resembles the sirens which can now be heard every Friday in some locations throughout Israel, announcing the beginning of the holiest day of the week, the Shabbat.
Yitzhak Zaki Hillel owned a shop at the market in Jerusalem during the 50s and 60s, and during the same time period he would blow the shofar maybe an hour and a half or hour before the coming of Shabbat in order to announce the Shabbat, to announce to every Jew or every person who was at that place at that time that Shabbat is coming.
The most famous shofar in the exhibition is that of Rabbi Shlomo Goren. This shofar was blown at the historical event of the reunification and liberation of Jerusalem.
Here at the Bible Lands Museum, for the first time ever, we can see this shofar, and I have to say that I had an opportunity to hold this shofar in my hands, and it was probably one of the most exciting moments of my life.
The exhibition also pays respect to those Jews who blew the shofar, despite the fact that the British mandate prohibited the blowing of the shofar in the Western Wall.
The Arab population in Jerusalem that were against it, they didn't want Jews to blow shofar at Kotel, and as the result, the British Empire simply passed the law that it was forbidden for Jews to blow the shofar on high holidays during at the Kotel. However, the Jews still managed during these 17 years of the British mandate to blow the shofar every year. It was a young man or older man who would simply smuggle somehow the shofar to the Kotel, and then they would try to make a diversion on one side of the Kotel, and they would blow the shofar at the other side of the Kotel.
Even today, the shofar has symbolic meaning in official state events.
One of the very interesting uses of shofar in the Bible is the coronation of Israelite kings. We have several kings, including King Solomon, that were coronated and the shofar was blown. But an interesting thing today is that when the president of Israel is sworn in, that shofar is also blown. So you can actually see the continuation of the practice over 3,000 years. So as it was with the kings in the Bible, so is today with the presidents of Israel.